It's time for the Ravagers to rise once again to glory!
You are listening to The Ravager Report, a Fox Next Marvel Strike Force podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news, information, and updates. With your hosts, Dorian.
It is a name what strikes fear into the hearts of anyone what hears it!
And Hebrew Hammer.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
Hello and welcome to episode 32 of The Ravager Report. I am your host, Dorian, and with me as always is the ever humble Hebrew Hammer. Hebrew, how you doing tonight, you Pellegrino drinking fool?
I know Pellegrino today, so not as good as other days, but still pretty good.
Yeah, but I think you got something a little better than Pellegrino.
Yeah,
it's a little better.
A little bit.
So, before we get into the show, which may not be too long, there wasn't a whole lot of news this week. Before we get into that, though, why don't you let everybody know what you've been up to this past week?
So I just earlier today got a new car. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. What'd you get, Hebrew?
I got a Tesla. I got a Model 3, though, so it's not big boy Tesla. It's a little boy Tesla.
Yeah, just a little boy Tesla. Any options on that?
I got a few options.
Yeah, a few.
Look, it's all about safety. Okay, that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. That's what my family's all about. So safety's number one, and safety comes at somewhat hefty costs.
Oh yeah, it does. Yes, it does. That's why I drive. That's why I drive a Scion IQ.
Well, I will say though, like the safety features are amazing. Like autopilot is insanely cool.
That's nice, man.
I'm really looking forward to testing that out. They even have soon they're releasing package deals that come with like traffic light response and stuff like that too. So you can straight up just put it on go and it will drive home for you all the way. You don't have to touch anything. Man,
that is pretty fantastic. I'm really, I honestly, I know I'm giving you a hard time, but I'm really happy for you. I think that you got a fantastic car. I think that is absolutely awesome. Though I will tell you, I've been told that I'm supposed to be angry with you more.
Why?
And we discussed that before, right?
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Our good buddy Valley likes it when we get angry. Apparently we got a little snarky with one another last week. I don't know. I think it's just kind of normal for us.
I feel like there's just some people that, love the strife. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. And when I go into my week, I'll talk a little bit more about a guilty pleasure, but that goes into that a bit. But I don't want to interrupt you too much. So, what else have you done this week, bud?
Other than that, I mean, nothing really big. Like it's been kind of just like setting that up, which by the way, I won't actually get the car for like another month because it has to be ordered and they're still on kind of back order in my area. So,
well, yeah, they gotta be, those things are hand built, man. So, the workers got to go in and with lovingly attach all the leather upholstery and hand stitch the craftsmanship, and get that Tesla logo into the headrests.
Exactly. I want sweat, blood, and tears in my interior. But yeah, it's so I won't be getting that for a little bit, but it definitely a good week. A lot of it was revolved around getting that kind of set up, planning my trip a little bit more, and getting some things handled for next year. I'm going to be moving to a different campus, so I'm super excited about that. And nice. Yeah, so just kind of setting up logistical stuff. What about you?
So it's been kind of a week for me. I'm still working on getting all my tier 13 gear. So I've been refreshing, and man, I hit the lottery last night. We won an alliance war. Yay, right? Which I mean, you're in my alliance now.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was able to finally buy an orange an orange orb, and I landed 3 palladium. And
really?
I was like, wow, thanks.
Wow, okay.
So I'm at 9 palladium now, which means that I only need 3 to get rocket to tier 13.
Very nice. Very nice. Very lucky.
Yeah, so he'll be my first T13, and he's got like 4 or 5 red stars on him. So he'll hit like a jackhammer.
Yeah.
But, getting those other pieces is still just such a pain.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is right now getting anyone up to T13 it's such a pain, and it feels like so much effort and time and resources for so little. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I
absolutely.
finally equipped a piece of gear after weeks.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That sense of pride and accomplishment.
yeah, that's what we can call it.
In personal life, obviously this past weekend was Mother's Day. So my wife and oldest son went to go see Tolkien, which they loved. Now, I guess the estate didn't authorize it, so they weren't able to use like factual stuff. So, it's kind of it's an autobiography, but it's not an authorized autobiography, if that makes sense.
Right.
But they enjoyed it, so I look forward to seeing it because.
I heard it was terrible review wise. We were debating seeing that one and doing a review on it, but it just got such bad reviews that we were like,
I've learned to completely ignore reviews. A lot of those was just pandered nonsense. Because I don't listen to professional reviews, and I definitely don't listen to fellow user reviews. Because use The Last Jedi as an example. Critics loved it.
Oh, so good. So bad.
No, your first statement was the right one.
Never use that against me. No.
So now I'm gonna edit that out, and I'm gonna use that as your intro from now on. But critics loved The Last Jedi. Viewers hated it. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's the greatest movie ever. I'm not like other content creators for another game who think it's the greatest movie ever. But I try not to worry about what other people say. I want to enjoy a movie because I want to go see it.
Yeah, I suppose for me it's a question of, is it worth my time or money? And so if the reviews are really bad, then I'm like, okay, probably not.
Yeah, but I've seen some things that get like a 15% tomato meter that I actually enjoy.
I mean, you're 100% right, but that is the minority of the time. Like the time.
That is true. That is the exception, not the rule.
Exactly.
But I got a lot of yard work to do this weekend. But I do want to go see John Wick 3.
I'm definitely seeing that.
John Wick was just so good. It's just so good.
Yeah.
So, Rose Watch 2019. I actually posted a couple of pictures in the studio audience today.
Mm-hmm.
The buds are nearly blooming. So they are.
You got to say they're coming in beautiful.
They're coming in beautifully.
There we go. I'm actually scrolling up to see some of these roses. Oh, there they are.
Yep, and they're not big because I just planted them this year.
I'm actually literally taking off my sunglasses so I can try to see them. Where are they in these pictures?
I told you, the buds, they're not blooming yet.
Okay.
And remember, look for the ones for me, not Pope, because those don't have blooms. They have buds, but they don't have blooms.
Oh, yeah, okay. I got you. There we go.
So.
Oh, yeah, I see them. Yeah, okay.
And then, what else this week? So, not much else, really.
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
MSF related, no. AFK, I'm almost a muggin, so that's good. But
yeah.
Oh, I did promise that I would talk about my guilty pleasure. So before we move into stuff, my daughter and we watched Dance Moms.
What is that?
Dance Moms? So
I don't know what that is.
Dance Moms was a Lifetime show. It may still be on now. The Abbey Lee Dance Company. And we watched because these women are just catty, horrible. I mean, the cat fights are great. I mean, it's just, the snark is amazing. So,
gotcha. So you watched that show for the same reason that I watched, like, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Yes.
Yeah, it's for entertainment. Like, people,
absolutely.
There are some people that get invested and they're like, oh my god, I hope Jessica wins this one. And like, I'm sitting there and laughing my ass off because people take this so seriously, including like the people that are doing it and people, like a lot of audience members. But I just think it's hilarious that anyone even buys this. But it's just so funny to see. It's like watching a train wreck, it's can't look away.
Yeah. So, let's see. So that's our update for the week. And before we get into this week's poll results, I do want to remind everybody that you can join us on Discord. And that is a URL, and that's discord.me/Ravager Report. And if you do like what you hear and would like to help support the show, we do have a Patreon set up, and that's patreon.com/Ravager Report. And we have subscriptions going from $2 to $20. And at the $5 level, you get the unedited version. So if you can't make it live, you can still get the full live version before the edits. So moving on, now that the housekeeping has been taken care of, we are going to move into this week's listener poll. So I am going to turn this off. We are no longer accepting responses as of now. Mm-hmm. So first question, Hebrew. Do you like that the mystery support character was Rescue? Yes, no, or
no.
Don't care?
No. I for many reasons. A, I don't really like the character of Rescue. She does nothing for me. B, I don't like the kit particularly of Rescue. I think that it's a lackluster version of what it could have been, and more importantly, I do not like Gwyneth Paltrow in the slightest. In fact, I intensely dislike her. So no, I don't like any. Any of that.
Okay, real quick break here. So you hate Vision but love Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
But you hate Rescue because of Gwyneth Paltrow. So yes. You don't hate Vision because of Paul Bettany, but you hate Rescue because of Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Gwyneth Paltrow is just kind of like a crappy person. Like, Paul is just an awesome guy that got swindled into a bad role.
Okay, well, you're wrong on so many different levels. We've had this discussion already once today. I really don't feel like rehashing it verbally.
I wonder how many times we've had a conversation revolving around that. I wonder how many more lie in our future.
So many. I actually agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of Rescue. I mean, the character is so minor in the comics that not Pepper Potts, but Rescue. Rescue didn't appear in Marvel Comics until 2009. So yeah, she's relatively new. I feel like spoiler alerts, right? I live by a 30-day spoiler. I know a lot of people only do 14 days. But spoiler alert, I feel like the only reason is because of Endgame, and there's that. Next question is, do you think Rescue has a good kit? Yes, no, I don't have an opinion one way or the other, or only in certain game modes.
Yeah, so I already kind of mentioned this, but I think that in one particular group, she can be at least useful, which is in a power armor team.
Right.
But outside of that, no.
In a power armor team in war.
In war, yes, you're right. In a power armor team in war. But outside of that, no, I feel like she really doesn't have a good amount of use to her.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And guys, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I did not read off the numbers for the mystery support was Rescue. So 26 people said yes. 24 people said they don't care. And then 13 people said no. So only 13 people were right with us. Yeah. On the good kit, I agree. Only in certain game modes is it even close to being okay. Is it good? I will go into the kit a little bit later because Rescue, spoiler alerts, is our character spotlight. So if you want to jump forward to that, it'll be an hour or so down the road. But I don't think her kit is good. I have my reasons for that, and I'll kind of go into that a little bit more when we get to the kit discussion. But the 34 people said only in certain game modes. 16 said no. 8 said don't have an opinion, and only 5 people said yes.
Yeah.
Next question is, do you like the new buff Barrier? Yes, no, or I don't have an opinion.
For me, it was, I do, but I don't like, we only have it on one character right now, and it's poorly utilized by that character. So I do like it being in the game for future potential. So that's about it.
And that's actually the reason why I don't like it, And the reason being is because I am such a long-time Galaxy of Heroes fan,
Right.
or player, I should say, and fan.
Mhm.
When they added the version of barrier that we have in Galaxy of Heroes, it changed things. So it's protection in Galaxy of Heroes. Barrier is just
Right.
a copy of that. And
Right. Is it really like the exact same thing, or is there any like even subtle differences?
there are some subtle differences. So, for example, in Strike Force, barrier gets applied when certain things happen, right? Whereas in Galaxy of Heroes, you could get protection up to gain like bonus protection and things of that, but
Mhm.
your like mods and gear and stuff will add protection to a player.
Well, so
So it's just like
the
shields.
bad feeling, right? So it's the bad feeling that you have with in association to Galaxy of Heroes, is that because it's used in mods as well, which we don't have in.
Well, it's not so much that it's used in mods, but it's that specific characters' kits wind up getting created around things such as protection up, and then other characters, like we just had reworks of 2 characters today that are designed to get around protection up. So I just,
Right.
just attack to damage. So it creates some subtleties to the game, absolutely, which strategy is always good, but I just worry about what it can introduce in the future.
Oh yeah, I mean everything that this game brings in, I always worry about future repercussions with. So, yeah.
But overall, 39 people agreed with you and said yes. 14 people agreed with me and said no, and 10 didn't have an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah.
The next question was, do you think we've seen the end of in-game content in the game? Yes or no?
No, because they had a Black Order tag originally for Thanos.
Yeah, but then they took it away, and we haven't seen the Children of Thanos. And I think if the Children of Thanos come out, it's probably going to be, a long time considering what is likely to be slated for this year. And although I will tell you, Corvus Glaive's ultimate will be Kill Vision.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's eliminate Vision from your roster.
Corvus Glaive's passive. Vision becomes a pacifist and refuses to fight anymore.
Good, yeah. Anything to just get him out of not being able to be useful anymore. Make him more like his movie self.
He's more of a philosophical. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. You troll. 39 people said yeah. I think we have seen the end of the in-game content. We may see some reworks, but I think in-game content itself is done.
Yeah,
and I think the reason why is coming up.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say that the fact that they had that tag, I feel like there had to have been something made for those characters if they had that tag, and so that leads me to believe that they will be coming at some point. And
I would love to see the Children of Thanos come in.
So would I. Yeah, I mean, I think that all of those characters are really cool. Plus, one stomped out Vision pretty easily, so he's probably going to be. I can guarantee you, he's going to be my champion of a character, if
quote unquote, easily.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah, you couldn't be more wrong. But so 39 people agreed with me and said yes, and 24 people agreed with you and said no.
Yeah.
Next, do you think that Iron Man needs a rework to have more synergy with power armor characters? Yes, no, or don't have an opinion?
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. They just didn't have it at the time whenever he was created, and he's going to get it added to him he's going to get a rework that will have more synergy with power armor characters eventually, I'm sure.
I agree with you. I think that he definitely needs that rework, and so did 93.7% of respondents. So 59 people said yes.
Yeah.
3 said no, so our trolls are multiplying, and 1 said they don't have an opinion. And I think that 1, I was watching the responses come in early on. There was 1 no and 1 don't have an opinion. I think the trolls miscommunicated. They might have got their signals crossed.
That's funny.
The next question is, Star-Lord is coming back soon. Are you prepared for the event? Yes, I'll finally unlock him. Yes, I'll get him to 6. Yes, I'll get him to 7. No, or a late entry to the cause, I already have him at 7. So where are you at for Star-Lord?
So for Star-Lord, I will be getting him to 7. I don't, and it Oh well, never mind. I'm not going to answer the next part because that's the next question.
Yes, that's the
But
next
yeah,
question.
yeah, I'll be getting into 7.
So I'm actually kind of I will definitely get him to 6.
Hmm.
I should be able to get him to 7.
Mhm.
Which I'll go into the next part. I'll explain why when we get to the next question. But I'm hoping to be able to get him to 7 for this event. 24 respondents, 38.1% also said they'll be able to get him to 7. 14 people said they either already have him at 7 or they'll get him to 6. So that's 22.2% apiece. 10 said no. So those are some of our newer players. Welcome to the game. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah.
And 1 is, yes, I'll finally unlock him.
I remember those were the days.
Right?
Whenever you didn't have Star-Lord unlocked and you were like, oh yeah, time to get Star-Lord.
Right? Honestly, some of the other legendaries are just like, nah. Like Sherry,
Yeah.
I'm whatever. Okay. If I unlock her, great. If I don't, great.
Yeah.
I'm not going out of my way to get Spider-Verse that are completely unfreaking farmable.
There is a bit of a charm to actually joining into the game now versus when we were, because you're just not as jaded.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh, God, no. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
All right. So the next question was, who will be using to get or rank up Star-Lord? Rocket, Drax, Groot, Gamora, Yondu, Ravager, Stitcher, Ravager, Boomer. So of those, what are your 5?
So Boomer, Stitcher, and Yondu, Gamora, and Drax.
You don't have a 7-star Rocket? But you have a
I do not.
7-star Stitcher?
Yeah, not by choice.
My God, your pools are horrible, man.
Yes. But yeah, my Rocket is currently, I believe, almost 6 stars because I started leveling him up like late.
Yeah.
And Groot, I think I have him at 4 stars now. He's much lower than he should be as well.
So I will be using Rocket, Drax, Gamora, Stitcher, and Boomer. And Stitcher's the one that I have to get to 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So Yondu and Stitcher are both 6 stars. But Stitcher has 70 more shards than Yondu. Mm-hmm. And because I can buy Stitcher shards out of the raid store and can pull raid orbs, and with the frequency that we're running raids and getting raid orb currency, I feel like he's the safer bet. Yeah. So I think I can get 70, 80 shards of him by the time this event is done.
Right.
So that's who I plan on using. Now the community, the vast majority of respondents, so nearly everybody said Gamora, but the team that a majority of the community that responded will be using is Rocket, Drax, Gamora, Yondu, and Boomer.
Yeah.
So you're a launch day player, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you launch day or shortly after launch? You're close. You're a global launch player.
I was like, I was like, I think a week after global launch. I had downloaded it the first day, but it took me about 5 or 6 days to start playing.
Okay. I'm one of the rare beta players that does not have a 7-star Yondu.
Yeah.
Because I thought Yondu was great, but Thanos came out, and I was like, no, that's my boy.
You diverted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I stayed course with that, so I got Yondu.
I even got Yondu's passive
really quick.
When they offered the Yondu passive. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, give me those 2-4 ability mats. I don't use Yondu. Hey, he's good, but I just don't use him.
He is good, and I kind of regret not getting my T-Force back now, but yeah, he's certainly not the king that he was. That's for sure.
Yeah. PSA, guys, always get the refund if you can, because you can always reapply it.
Yeah.
So you're
at that time I just thought that I was like, yeah, I want it on him.
Yeah. Oh no, I get it. I'm just saying, always take that option and then think about it for a little bit. So
yeah.
Let's see. Our next question. Foxnex has said that X-Men will be the new arena meta. Do you think this is true? Yes, no, yes, but only with a massive investment.
So, of course, there is no maybe in this, because I don't trust anything that Foxnex says as a rule. So I'm going to go ahead and say, like, maybe, because who knows? I think that they're going to be at least good in Arena. I don't know if they're going to be the champs of Arena.
Yeah, but Fox Next has come out and specifically said they will be the new Arena meta.
Yeah, but we've heard other things that Fox Next has said as well,
Right.
Similar to that just haven't been true. But
right,
like,
that's why. So
I know
you're saying that you don't think it's true?
I don't know if it's true.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Like it might be, it might not be. The point is that I don't listen to what Fox Next says whenever it comes to their opinions about upcoming teams. I just don't trust them to gauge it properly, because there's a lot of times whenever I question if they play their own game.
Which is fair. I have
Yeah.
So I intentionally left maybe off this, because when I create these, I try to think about responses, right? Mm-hmm. So I intentionally left maybe off because I think a vast majority of people would have just defaulted to maybe, because it's an easy answer. I wanted to see people come down on one side or the other, and after what we saw with Wakanda, I think that what they've said is true, but only with the massive investment. I think you're going to have to probably get 18 plus T4s on that team.
Yeah, I think that if it is the case, I think it will also only be with massive investment. So,
and 46 respondents agreed with us for 73%. 10%. 10 people said yes, and 7 people said no.
Yeah.
Next, what other X-Men do you think Fox Next will release this year? Professor X, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Gambit, Phoenix, Jubilee, Iceman, Angel, or other. So of that list, you can multi-select, right? So you can select more than one of those.
Yeah, I picked Gambit and Jubilee.
Wow, you're one of the 4 people that picked Jubilee.
I picked it as a troll.
Great. So apparently did the people that picked Angel, because he only got 3 total.
Yeah, I was actually debating picking him as a troll too. I mean, obviously, like there's a lot of those characters that I think will be coming, but I just want Gambit, and I just wanted to pick Jubilee because Jubilee.
So only 13 people think Gambit will be coming out this year.
Yeah, well, I'll be laughing whenever you're all wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. So I actually selected Professor X, Cyclops, Beast, and Phoenix. I don't think we're going to get a Jean Grey. We should. We'll talk about that later. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're just going to get Phoenix, which is an atrocity. But
it's really up to the level of atrocity. You know?
It's up to the level of atrocity. It is up to the level of atrocity. So the vast majority of respondents said Cyclops at 54. Phoenix had 46 people. Jean Grey 42. Professor X 23, Beast 22, and everybody else was below 20. 19 did say other. So,
right. I mean, I will say, like I can say a rumor that I've heard. I have no idea if there's any validity to this or not, but it's a rumor that people can find if they want. But it from what people are saying, Colossus, Phoenix, Psylocke, and Cyclops.
Psylocke, really?
Psylocke and Cyclops. I would think, since we know that 3 characters are going to be coming in this upcoming patch,
right?
I would go ahead and bet my money on Colossus, Phoenix, and Cyclops.
I think those 3 are a safe bet. So
yeah,
and that does give you a total of 5 X-Men.
Yeah,
and 5 quote unquote original X-Men. So Wolverine's technically not an original X-Man, but
really, he's not.
No, he wasn't part of the original team.
Oh, wow.
The original,
he was like...
Yeah, no, going all the way back to 1963, the original team was Cyclops, Beast, Iceman, Angel, and Jean Grey came in really early, a few episodes in. So that was kind of the original 5. Storm wasn't even part of the team yet.
Wow, it's weird considering he's like the face of X-Men now.
Yeah, look up X-Men 1963, Beast, Angel, Jean Grey. Maybe that... Oh, Jean Grey was in the very first issue. I'm sorry. I thought she came in and I read it at one point
by a couple episodes.
I read it a while back on one of these websites. So, but yeah, no, Wolverine was not an original X-Man. Let's see. When did Wolverine join the X-Men? Wolverine joined the X-Men in 1975 in the Giant Size X-Men #1. Let's see. Wolverine first appeared in the last panel of the Incredible Hulk #180. His first full appearance is in issue 181, November 1974. So the X-Men were around, 11 years before before Wolverine.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he joined the X-Men in May of 1975.
You know what I really miss? I'm hitting like some hardcore nostalgia. I mean, I shouldn't say I miss it because I've literally only seen like 2 episodes, and I'm the Juggernaut thing. The big YouTube sensation for that. I can't finish the rest because we're not allowed to say it, but
no, we're not.
But the original X-Men like cartoon series, I wasn't around for it really, but so I caught a little bit of it on some reruns. But I don't know, that's just so, I don't know, it's so relevant now that I really want to see it.
So the original cartoon from the 90s?
I'm talking about, yeah.
Oh yeah, that show was amazing.
With my boy Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit was in that. Yeah. That show was really, really good. In fact, I have a feeling it'll be on Disney Plus.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Man, I'm just gonna have to start throwing money at Disney. So Disney's gonna own the world.
That's the other thing I forgot to mention during the what happened this week. I canceled Netflix.
Yeah, that's right.
But I bought the DC Universe streaming service. That's amazeballs. That is amazing.
This is a Marvel podcast. What are you doing?
I know. Well, I'm a comic fan. Okay.
Yeah.
And that streaming service is awesome, and I'm expecting Disney Plus is going to be as good, if not better.
Yeah. I mean, I just need to see it for the Clone Wars. Like, I know Clone Wars season 7 is going to be on that, and I have to watch that. I need it.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy amazing. So,
so good.
But yeah. Anyway, moving on here. Do you think Professor X should be a legendary character? Yes or no?
Yes, I think this is like. I mean, he's like one of the biggest characters in Marvel of all time, and one of the most powerful. So, yeah, for sure, hands down.
I agree 100% on that one. Sorry, I was reading an email that I just got. I don't know if you got it as well.
I will check. Are we in trouble?
No. I think it means...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have been accepted. I'm just spilling in the beans. I got the email.
Yeah.
We've been accepted into the Fox Next Envoy program. So, yay us.
Yes.
That's going to be fantastic, man. We are awesome. We are awesome.
We've sold our soul to the devil.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I kept pushing you because it was going to be problematic, man. It was going to be problematic.
Yeah, I know. Remind me to tell you about my conversation with him, by the way.
I will. Okay, so the next question was, do you think we should get a Jean Grey character before we get a Phoenix character? Yes or no?
I mean, should we? Yes. Are we? No.
Right, but the question is, should we get?
Should we get? Yes.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, okay.
I think that we need a Jean Grey before we get a Phoenix character. And there's actually a question later, so remember this question, because 54% of people said no.
Mm-hmm.
So 34 people said no, 29 people said yes. So only 29 people were on the right side of that one. Next question. Do you think that Phoenix / Dark Phoenix should be the same character, yes or no?
No, I don't think it should. This would be a great time to have like the kind of like skins system, I feel like. So that way you could just kind of like go to her other persona and play her instead.
Right.
But, you know, we're not going to get that.
So
whatever happened to that system? Like they never did anything with the skins thing. That was just that weird Deadpool thing, and that's it.
Yeah. So we need to, now that we're envoys,
Yeah,
we need to ask
Yeah,
about that and see what's going on and push for that. Because honestly,
I'm gonna
that is
bring
a
it to the
great way to
masses.
monetize.
It's a better way to monetize. Yeah,
Sell skins. Buy a new skin for $4.99. People buy
yeah.
that. People buy the heck out of that.
I mean, I immediately go to League of Legends, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and it is, I think, the most profitable video game. And if it isn't, it's certainly in the top like 2 or 3. But all they do is sell skins. That's all. I mean, they do have the option to sell characters, but no one ever really does it because you don't need to at all. But
Right.
they sell skins. They sell different tiers of skins. That's it, and they make ridiculous amounts of money, and they're so successful. And I think that should be like the guideline set for microtransactions in games.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I agree with that like 1,000%. So I say no. Phoenix and Dark Phoenix should not be the same character, but for different reasons than you. It's because Phoenix was a hero, Dark Phoenix is a villain. So I don't feel that they kind of mesh well as the same character. Because is she going to be a hero? Is she going to be a villain? How are they going to work her kit? Because Phoenix and Dark Phoenix, even though they have kind of the same abilities, they use them differently.
Yeah.
So I just feel that Dark Phoenix is better served as her own separate entity, which she kind of was.
Yeah.
So, because Phoenix was still the Phoenix character was really just kind of Jean Grey with the Dark Phoenix power. So she had Jean Grey's, sensibilities, and the Dark Phoenix was just like, well, I'm going to destroy the universe.
Right.
So
how did she get Dark Phoenix like in her?
So in the comics, if I remember correctly, and it's been a while since I've researched this, there was an accident. Maybe actually, you know what? Let me before I pull out anything, let me tell you exactly. So because I've seen trailers obviously for the new movie, and I don't want to misrepresent the Marvel comic universe, which is where I come from, versus the the Marvel movie universe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, the Phoenix Force, Phoenix Force and hosts. Phoenix Force. So the Phoenix Force is actually had multiple. The Phoenix Force itself is a cosmic entity.
Right.
Let's see. So Jean Grey. So the Phoenix Force had been on Earth as part of an older character, a magician named Pharaon. It was let's see. So then it left Earth. A young Jean Grey had telepathically linked her mind to her dying friend Annie Richardson to keep Annie's soul from moving to the afterlife. In doing so, Jean's mind was being dragged along to the other side with Annie. Phoenix lent its energy to break the connection and kept close watch on young Jean. So years later, when Jean was dying on a space shuttle, her mind called out for help, and the Phoenix Force answered and saved her. So there was a space shuttle accident, and the Phoenix Force saved Jean.
Right.
And that is according to the trailers. Then, it seems to be how it happens in the upcoming movie as well.
Oh, I didn't see any of that from the trailers.
Oh yeah,
but
you need to go back and watch the trailers again. So
yeah, I guess I since I didn't know the story really, I probably just like went right over my head.
Yeah, so Captain Murdoch put it here quite bluntly. The Phoenix Force is a cosmic entity that is apathetic to life and is insanely powerful. And that's why that's why I think it needs to be two different characters, because one is Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force doing good, and then the other one is Jean Grey losing her mind to the Phoenix Force and doing bad. So while they're both Jean Grey, they're to me they're kind of different characters. Right.
That makes sense.
But I do see the argument of, they're really the same character just turned. Are Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader two different characters?
Right.
Well, no, they're really kind of the same person, but
Yeah, well, I mean, were you asking me that, or I thought you were just making that statement?
Well, I was kind of making that statement, but if you wanted to respond to that, that's, if do you think that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader and Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker?
Yeah, I mean, they are, but they are two separate,
Right. They're the same person,
done...
but they're also separate.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think I skipped past that. I don't know if I remember. I don't know if I gave the responses to that. So in the should they be the same character, 44 people said yes, 19 people said no. The next question was, do you think the Dark Phoenix should be a legendary character, yes or no?
Yes, I think that she should, and I think that she will. I mean, it's a total guess. I truly don't know anything
right.
If they are, but I would guess that they should at least. What about you?
I want to say yes, but that just means that we're going to have 6 months of one hard node or blitz farming to get her.
Yeah.
So I want to say yes, but I still don't trust the way Fox Next does legendary events. I don't think they respect. I mean, I understand making it hard for free to play characters to get, if not close to impossible, and it should be, but it shouldn't be a blatant cash grab, so that even the whales are like, woof. You should make people want to spend, not make it so that they have to spend. So
right.
And I think without Phoenix, you're not going to have an arena meta.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
I think she's going to be the Ultron for the the heroes.
I certainly hope that she's very powerful because she deserves to be.
So I think Phoenix should be a legendary. I'm worried that she will be, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, for people who don't like, the way the panic farming that goes along with MSF's character release or legendary releases, it's not going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
47 people agreed yes, she should be legendary, and 16 said no. And then for our last question, so I want you to remember back on whether or not we should get Jean Grey before we get a Phoenix character, where 34 people said no.
Right.
Okay. The next question is, in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, they have a journey character that requires an earlier story character to get the journey character, i.e. Episode 4 Luke Skywalker to get Episode 5 Luke, Episode 7 Rey to get Episode 8 Rey. Would you like to see something like this in Strike Force? For example, Jean Grey to get Phoenix, Angel to get Archangel, etc. Yes or no?
I hate when you put me in a box. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but there's an asterisk next to it because I feel like they would restrict really hard how the farmability of those characters to get the next journey character. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, so here's the thing is that like the first version of the character is usually kind of the easiest one to get. Mm-hmm. So to get like Episode 4 Luke Skywalker, quote unquote, farm boy Luke, had basically been in the game since the beginning. And all the characters required to get Luke at Commander Luke, CLS, was, were in the game. A lot of people hadn't farmed them because they weren't the best. But, then they all got some slight reworks, and then they were all kind of required to get Luke. It actually required a legendary character, R2-D2, to get him as well. And it was I didn't get him the first time around. But he was amazing. Still is. He's still one of the best in the game. I wouldn't have a problem if they did something like that here. If they were to say, hey, look, you would need Jean Grey plus the X-Men, and basically you did the mission to the space shuttle, and at the end of it, you save, it blows up and she becomes Dark Phoenix. You don't lose Jean Grey, but you add Phoenix.
Right.
There it is. I'm trying to control that. Those, I think those types of journeys are fine. Mm-hmm. And I think that those are good for the game to an extent. I mean, you can't make them super overpowered, But I do
Right.
think that Journey characters, like how they do it in Galaxy of Heroes now, what they did recently was a horrible nightmare. But, originally, some of those early farms were horrible. Like, were you around to get Rey Jedi training?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I think I might have started right as that happened.
So you not only had to have BB-8, who is a legendary character, but you had to have Vet Smuggler Han and Vet Smuggler Chewie, who were two of the hardest farm nodes in the game. They were both on the Cantina, 16 energy nodes, both of them next to each other. It was a horrible farm. Don't do that.
Jeez.
That was, but but the legendary characters are worth it. They are the best characters in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
So the reason why I mentioned the other thing, though, is that, so many people said, no, we shouldn't have Jean Grey before we got a Phoenix. Well, it's actually the reverse here on whether or not they would like to see this. So 48 people said, yes, they would like to see that Journey-style storyline, where only 15 said no.
Right.
So, no, you don't want Jean Grey before Phoenix, but yes, you like the idea of a Jean Grey to get a Phoenix.
Right.
Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
that's a good point.
Come on. So that is our listener poll for the week.
They might not have necessarily applied it to Jean Grey, but yeah.
That's true, though I did call her out specifically.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me. So, but that is our listener poll for this week. Be looking for the one next week. I'll try to get it out, before noon, the day of the recordings. I got really busy with work and life, and I wasn't able to get, Mother's Day weekend. So
yeah,
it was just a crazy busy time. So that is our listener poll. We hope you guys enjoyed it as always. And if not, sorry. So nice. Next, instead of going into the news of the week, because we kind of already did that, right? In the poll results, the news was, Rescue and Colossus.
Right.
And so we kind of covered a lot of the news in the poll, and I think maybe going forward, unless something happens after the poll's released, we probably won't have a lot to talk about, quote unquote, news wise.
Right.
Hopefully we'll have some stuff as envoys. We'll have to see if we need to create a segment for that. But this week, for the first time in a long time, and backed by popular demand, we have the ever popular grab bag.
Yeah.
So guys,
it's back.
The grab bag is back. We're probably going to start opening up and asking for more grab bag questions going forward. Would love to hear from you guys. Again, the best way to do that is on our Discord at discord.me/Ravager Report. We do have a grab bag channel, so start posting your questions in there. Depending on the week, there's no guarantee we will do a full grab bag, but post them anyway.
Also, don't be afraid to add non-MSF specific questions.
Yes, don't be afraid to add non-MSF specific questions. Those are, for me, Heber and I will go over these. So, we get it. There are questions, guys, that will not get aired because we are now envoys. So keep that in mind, and let's keep it family friendly.
I can't tell some good stories anymore.
Nope. The San Pellegrino's it, buddy.
Yep, Pellegrino's as dirty as it gets.
San Pellegrino and coffee's as dirty as it gets. So, first question is, and guys, I apologize. I don't know who asked these because they came from last week's poll. And since I didn't capture any demographics for the poll, I don't know who asked them. So, we're just going to jump right into these here. So the first question we got, Hebrew, was, who is the most underrated character currently in the game?
Underrated character. Oh man, I was thinking about this just the other day actually, and now I forgot who it was. Let me go ahead and pull up my roster real quick. Do you know? If you know, you can go ahead and say yours.
I'm going to give the name of a character, but it's another one that it actually kind of answers another question later as well. But me personally, I think Luke Cage is one of the most underrated characters in the game.
I wouldn't say that he's underrated though, because like vital to a good defenders team.
You can run a defenders team with Miss Marvel instead of Luke Cage. I mean, he's not required.
Yeah, but I mean, he's an incredibly good option. Like, I feel like any character that's an incredibly good option in a high synergy team is not.
Yeah, but there are some people that
underrated.
There are some people that like absolutely loathe him and have
Mm-hmm.
have as much hate for him as you do for Vision.
Oof, that's tough.
Right? So that to me is more, I think that he gets a lot of downplay, especially when he's your first forced Red Star character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he may be considered one of the most I don't know. I mean, the defenders themselves are pretty powerful, yes. I think a lot of characters that didn't get a lot of play. I think Scientist Supreme is amazingly good in the right team comp.
Mm-hmm.
Because her, like, I've been playing her with Deadpool, and Deadpool becomes almost unkillable. Because he heals himself whenever he gets negative effects.
Yeah. That's fair.
So that's kind of a fun team comp. But I think I'm going to stick to Luke.
Slow. Yeah. Luke for you? All right. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and say I have two, really. So I think most underrated is probably Nebula. She isn't as good overall, like potential-wise, as my other pick, but I do think that she's far more underrated than the other character. But she's pretty good. Like, I think that especially whenever she eventually, hopefully, gets a buff, I think that she could be kind of the monster. But especially if you throw her in, particular situations where you need a character that will just revive over and over again and just be a pain to hit. Like, I think she's really good. Like, the AI gets stuck on her all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the AI. Yeah, she can be a pain, most definitely. Especially when she gets that dodge. That she hits you again and it's still dodge.
Exactly. She's like really frustrating to play against because I mean no one's ever really concerned about her damage, which I think is the biggest problem with her. But it's just those dodges and then the revives and the speed ups. It can get very frustrating.
Yep.
My other character though for sure is Venom. I think Venom is very underrated. I think that he is slow for sure, but if you couple him with someone that gives a speed up, can actually be quite the monster. That ability on his basic to flip is so strong. It's great. And on a team like whenever you can spread negative buffs too, so good. So yeah, I think he's just really underrated. I think there's a lot of teams that can take him in right now.
Yeah,
so
I actually run him with Brotherhood. He's really good with him.
He is, exactly. He's very good for that because you just stack on all those debuffs and you spread them around again if you want. And bleeds for days.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm going to flip this around. And he's got an
ability block in his kit too, so that's great also. Lots of stuff.
I'm going to flip this around a bit. There was this wasn't asked, but so who do you think is the most overrated character in the game?
Most overrated character, Shield Security, JK. I'm gonna say Doctor Strange. Like, I think Doctor Strange is garbage because he dies in 5 seconds every time when I have him on the team. Like, unless I'm coupling him with the Drax, he will die, like almost immediately.
So I run him on a Loki hand sentry team, and he's got really good survivability in that team.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, a hand sentry is pretty good because you get that quick "don't touch me."
Right.
But it's just I guess I just hate him so much because he was good for a while, but now everyone is just like stronger, just through being in this game for a while, and new characters come in and they're always stronger than the old characters and stuff like that. And so, with so many of the AI naturally targeting supports, he's just such a pain, and it infuriates me every single time whenever I have him in a team or something, or I usually never use him, so he's usually like in a thrown together team, which is part of the problem because, like I said, you do need someone to make sure to take off the pressure from him. But just seeing him get washed away in like one hit is so annoying to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For me, I think my most overrated character is probably Cat.
Captain America.
Cap at one point was the best tank in the game, no doubt about it. But I think nowadays he's pretty overrated. I mean, he works well with like in a war team with like Iron Man and War Machine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think outside of that, I mean, I've got a really good Cap. I don't know. He's really kind of, his kit's underwhelming for me right now. And I think he's very situational.
Super strong.
Huh?
I think his kit's still super strong.
You think so? His energy only goes to other Avengers. And I don't know. I think after Red Stars, his viability, unless you get him at Red Stars, maybe that's why I feel that way, is because I don't have many, if any, Red Stars on him, and it feels like he's just paper thin.
Right. I mean, but keep in mind though, his energy doesn't just go to Avengers though. He gives it to random allies. He just gives extra.
Tells you how often I play Cap.
Yeah, but that's one of his biggest benefits. Is he's got a dispel. He's got an AOE defense up that's fairly spammable, and he gives off energy. And especially now, like energy givers are quite important.
Yeah. So and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. He does get the one ability energy to one random ally, as well as 1 to 2 random allies.
I think it's 1 to 2. Was it one ability energy, or is it?
It's just one ability energy to 1 to 2 random allies, and then it's one ability energy to 1 to 2 Avenger allies. So you could wind up getting 2 to Avengers. I wonder if Black Widow makes the overrated list now.
Nah, that AOE speed up with a hard CC is strong.
Yeah.
I mean, she's certainly not what she was.
Yeah, maybe just because I don't play them anymore.
I mean, that's fair. I'm so bored of those characters. I'll give you that.
Yeah, they really need. They did the Wave 1 Avenger tag. Now they need to do a Wave 1 Avenger rework. But I just don't think it's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like me being bored of them isn't their problem as much as mine.
Right.
Which is, I think it's fair. But it's just I personally, they were so meta before that I'm burnt out on them.
Yeah. So the next question: out of the current roster, who do you think should have a team up attack?
Should have a team up attack. Interesting. If you got yours, go ahead and.
Yeah, the first one that came to mind to me was Gamora and Nebula.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
They grew up fighting together, not just fighting each other, but fighting together as well. So I think that they should have a team up attack. They could have a team up attack with Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of the first one that came to mind for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cap and Falcon come to mind.
Yeah, that's a good one. Stop taking all the good ones.
Thor and Cap.
Oh, Thor and Cap have one.
No, Thor and Cap do not have a team
Thor
up.
And Cap, Iron. Do you remember? I have always said that.
Yes.
I always say that.
Thor and Cap need the hammer the hammer badge.
Yeah, you're right. Thor and Cap, especially now, could use the team up. In fact, I'm going to adopt that one as mine. You heard it here first. That was all me.
Let's see. Next question. Should I save my red stars for the 5% Coulson drop rate or use them up now? I am not a fan of, at least not anymore, of saving for what may happen. If you have a need now, then I would say use it now. If you don't have a need now, then save it. But I think it's really kind of situationally dependent, and it really depends. Yeah. We have not seen Coulson's kit. We don't know what Coulson's going to do. We haven't officially seen Coulson's kit.
Yeah.
We have not officially seen Coulson's kit, so we can't say 100% what he's going to do.
Right, exactly. I mean, we've seen some potential things that were tossed around. We don't know the legitimacy of any of them. I will say if any of it is true from those things that we saw, that looks super strong. That kit looks super strong. But you can't take that as law. So for me, my opinion on it is if you're a min maxer, I would. But if you're not, I see no point in really saving for such a low percentage increase. You know what I mean? So
And
it just
we
really
all
comes down
know-
to if you're a min-maxer or not.
And we all know those percentage rates may not be real.
Yeah. And they're certainly not applicable to me. So
Well, yeah, I mean, the statistical probabilities, like I continuously get the same duplicates that I've had.
Mhm.
And it statistically, the statistical probabilities of that happening are really, really small because you
Yeah,
got to
exactly.
double RNG that. So, I mean, I know what they've got listed. I don't know. I have not seen the code. I don't know if it's 100% fact, but it just doesn't, anecdotally, doesn't feel right.
I 100% agree with you.
Next question. Who do you want in the game more right now? MCU characters not in the game yet, or characters from the upcoming X-Men movie?
MCU characters not in the game yet because Gambit.
Gambit is not an MCU character. Well,
Yes, he
Logan's
is.
not an MCU is not MCU. So like Wolverine Origins,
That isn't considered.
I don't think Wolverine
MCU?
Origins is considered MCU because that was still under Fox when they were split apart.
Okay. Did he mean Marvel Cinematic Universe or Marvel Comic Universe?
MCU is typically the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay. Well, so if that's not included, then there's still probably some other characters in the MCU that I want. I'm blanking on it right now, but why don't you go ahead and answer? I'm going to try to think of if there's any that we've seen so far that I want.
So I want to see from the upcoming X-Men movie, just because I love X-Men, and I think that we've got a lot of MCU, and one of the things that about this game it's really weird is sometimes they pull in MCU, sometimes they don't pull in the MCU version of characters. For example, look at Scarlet Witch. She is not the MCU version.
Right.
But you look at Falcon, he is quite literally the MCU version.
Yeah, their source material isn't not consistent. That's
Well,
for sure.
but Marvel approves all that. So I've actually spoken with Fox Next in the past, and this entire thing, because we are drawing characters from different multiverses, this is actually takes place in a separate multiverse. It is not Earth Prime. It is not Earth 616. I've had that confirmed by Fox Next in the past. So
Are you sure though? Because I could have swore seen them make mention to 616 in one of the campaigns.
They may have mentioned 616, but the Strike Force does not take place in 616. Right. And that's from that, and that I don't think I'm speaking out of school when I say that is from Jason Bender.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I remember that, but I feel like one of them that I've played has mentioned like that we're on 616, but I could be wrong. If anyone knows that and like has proof of that, that'd be cool. Just because it's interesting to know.
Yeah.
But I remember though whenever Jason said that.
Yeah.
So I know you're not wrong that you're quoting that.
Oh, you still haven't answered yet.
Teddy Bear. Well, I mean, Sugar Bear.
Sugar Bear.
That's
Deadpool's not MCU.
It is now.
It wasn't. Deadpool 2 was not MCU.
You know what? Just give me the X-Men, I guess. I'll take them by default. I better get. You know what? I better get a Gambit cameo in this upcoming X-Men movie. If I don't get one, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm really hoping that actually all of my bad luck is gonna turn around and they're actually planning like a big surprise for me personally, and that I'm going to get, because the world revolves around me.
I have I've been speaking to Marvel and Fox Next behind the scenes for almost a year now.
Yep.
I have been working on it for you.
There we go.
Right?
That's all.
You're my friend. So I'll go to whatever lengths I can to do that for you.
I just need Gambit in my life. That's all. But yeah.
So, next question. I see that you both are on the same alliance now. Has the game been more fun, and is one person carrying the other?
We both do a bad job of carrying each other.
We do. We really do. Evan's like, oh my god, I got both of you in the same lane. This might be so bad. So bad. Because there are times that like we both just don't hit. And then we're scrambling because there's like 2 hours left, and it's like, oh man, we've got to clear 10 nodes. Let's go.
I gotta say, so like I love so many things in this game. I truly do. But raids have become so raids and war and blitz
Oh gosh, yeah, it's
have become
horrible.
so tedious to me. Like I need something new. I need Old 7 to come out because I'm
Yeah.
so bored with Old 6. And I mean Blitz is a whole nother
Ugh.
discussion.
I've
And
stopped.
then
I just don't blitz anymore. I don't even blitz. I don't even do the milestones.
I still milestone, but man, like I just they need to figure out a way to streamline this process because I mean you and I have talked about this before. It's such a time suck,
It is.
and it honestly is a problem. And I've mentioned before that whenever new things on the horizon will come out, it's going to only get worse. Like there's nothing on the horizon to make it easier, which is a problem.
Yeah.
So something needs to happen to streamline this. But
I mean, I've stopped. Like I've pretty much stopped blitzing. Right.
right,
Strike Force
yeah,
is still my number one time suck. Over the last 7 days, 12 hours, 1 minute.
Jesus. Yeah. I mean, mine's at 11 hours, so
AFK Arena, 11 hours, 43 minutes. But
that's
AFK
funny.
doesn't feel like it takes that much time.
It doesn't. Well, honestly, a lot of time on that is just mindlessly clicking attack.
Yeah.
Like because I can put it on auto, just like I'm like, all right, oh, I defeat, okay, do it again, RNG, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's once again like that is a streamlined process to me. You know, it's actually very time efficient in what you need or want to do. But this is just it's a different beast of its own, and tons of people like that, and that's valid.
Yep.
But it's just at some point time is finite, and like, you only have so much time in a day.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But what was the question again? Oh,
Has the game
scary.
been more fun
Yeah.
and is one person carrying the other?
Yeah, I mean we like it's about the same, I would say. Like, I don't think. What about you?
I mean, for me, it's been a little bit more fun, but I rib you a bit on the Discord, which you probably never see anyway.
I mean, I do not go into that Discord.
Right.
Like I
So
go
thanks
into
for being a good alliance mate.
Yeah, I honestly the pings. I mean, they're not infuriating, but there's
There are a
so
lot.
many pings in there.
There's
It's
so many
crazy.
pings.
I've never experienced that.
It's not like they're invalid, right? It's like, hey guys, war. We're attacking this room, we're attacking that room.
It's totally fair. I mean, like I get every single one of them. I understand why it's happening, but it's the amount of pings that are necessary for this game need to go down. But yeah, it's just I guess I'm coming my past alliance. We did not have that. Like
Right.
so it's just that's a change for me. I guess it's my problem, not anyone else's.
Because sprinkles are for winners, Hebrew.
I guess so.
So yeah, I think it's kind of been a little bit more fun because it does create, for me at least, it's an artificial competition, obviously, because you don't feel the same way, so it's one sided.
Yeah, just trudging through. Like,
but
there's
the
no
question of
competition
is one
involved.
person carrying the other? No. Some days it's Hebrew carrying me. Some days it's me carrying Hebrew. It all depends on which one of us doesn't feel lazy that day.
I feel like all right. Let me know if this is true. Whenever you log in and you check the raid, do you secretly hope that I've cleared more stuff that way?
I secretly hope you've cleared the first 5, because then I know I only have to hit one node and I'm done.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's
so we're both waiting for the other. Good to know.
Exactly.
But honestly, the first few nodes anymore, you can pretty much just auto those.
Oh yeah, I go through an auto the first I think probably 4 or so, and then I start paying attention.
I think up until we get to the Black Panther one.
Yeah,
that one's the first one that I just I got to stop and go, okay, if I don't do the right kill order here, my guys are going to get crushed because of Deadpool basically and a charged up Black Panther.
Yeah, for me it's the Loki, Hulk, Thor one. I got to be a little more careful with that, a little more strategic with it.
Loki, Hulk, Thor. Really? That one bothers you?
I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's just
you're not talking the Puny God. Are you talking Puny God?
Let me check
the Puny God's node, like C4.
I'm checking the name on it.
You get 3 Lokis to start with 2 Hulks, and then once you take them out, the Hulks and the Thors drop.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that, especially after the rework. It gave me a challenge the first time, and then I was just like, oh, okay, there's a pattern.
It's not really a challenge. Like it's not hard to complete it all. It's just that if I have it on auto.
Oh yeah, you're not doing that.
Exactly. Like so, it's
you gotta take out those Lokis before they get off, and if they get the wrong person, it's game over, and it's just ugh.
Exactly. So like on auto, it just won't be it won't be optimized on how I get through there. Like it's a very good chance that I'll walk out with someone dead. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's about where I stop.
Yeah,
my autos, I'd say.
So next question. Can you think of an old toon that's been around for a while that hasn't been nerfed or buffed recently, but due to the introduction of another new toon, the old one is now worthy in your raid war blitz rotation?
I got one for this.
Okay.
Black Panther.
Because of Wakanda?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Wakanda isn't fantastic unless you have that huge investment, but I mean they're still good for sure. They just aren't like the crazy good team that we thought they were going to be unless you have that huge investment. But they still hold out for war really well whenever you put them all together.
I'll have to honestly take your word for it because I don't have any of them like geared up except Black Panther. I have them unlocked, but I don't have any work in any of them. And I'm really surprised to hear you say Black Panther because I mean he's been fantastic in a brawler team with Miss Marvel.
Yeah, and a brawler team he's good, but it's just he's a character that hasn't been changed at all.
Right.
That wasn't like he quickly became like yeah, okay, like, but I don't think that he was ever really fantastic. You know what I mean? I think he was definitely good in that brawler team. That was his highlight before, but now he's much better in the Wakanda team. So I would probably say him. What about you?
For me, so this character did get a buff, but it was last summer, and it's Thanos. I think that with the recent addition of Minerva to the game, that Thanos as a tank, a kind of an offensive tank, became so much deadlier because she puts those regens every time somebody gets killed. She's giving him health back. His power bomb's amazing, and I think that while Thanos was always a really good character that could fit into different teams. I think that with Minerva, he kind of took a step higher, and because he's feeding her that energy as well from his passive, which now triggers on bleed death. By the way, so she's healing, and he's just handing out energy like it's candy, and like they're just it's crazy. And if he does happen to die because he's got paper thin armor, I don't know why. But she just brings him back, and then he power bombs and gets all his health back, and just laughs at everybody and goes on.
Yeah, I do have a few more for this.
Okay.
One is a future one, which is Wolverine. I'm sure will fit that bill.
I'm hoping he will with Colossus and the other. Well, primarily Colossus, but with the other X-Men as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that he would be a good one for that. And then who's my other one? I think Iron Man has gotten better now because of power armor synergy.
I think War Machine made him better before we got Falcon, and I mean, yes, power armor.
Well, that only makes it better.
But yeah, I think I think War Machine was the start of that when they got Death Proof to start. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it's just he was really good for a little while at the beginning, and then he quickly got outshined by a lot of other newcomers, and he kind of is now has a pretty healthy spot on a power armor team for sure. So, yep, that's about it.
All right. So the next one, this is a long question. So here's my situation. I have been playing since December, so my roster isn't the greatest, but I want to keep up in Arena and try to stay at the top. I've been looking into getting Ultron ASAP to try and solidify my ranking in Arena. I have been buying all orange uniques and refreshing the shop 6 times a day. Here's my question. Do you think I'm jumping the gun and should be focusing on other things, or should I keep trying to get Ultron ASAP? My only T12 tunes are defenders, and I am focusing on getting Minerva to T12 next, because I know she's a necessity for Fear the Darkness. I was thinking of just going defenders plus Minerva for Fear the Darkness. What are your thoughts? Right now, my 2 main teams are defenders at 230k and Shield at 165k. I have Star-Lord and will be getting mags next time he comes around. So,
wow, that is a long question with lots of things.
there is a lot of things. So what it boils down to, it's an account that's 6 months old.
Right.
And he's like getting tops in his shard and arena
Mm-hmm.
because he's got really good defenders. He wants to know if he should, he's been buying the orange gear. Should he worry about getting into Ultron right now?
I don't think so. Well, okay, it's hard to say because people are getting Ultron at an expedited rate now. Now that a few key comps have come out against them,
Right.
so it's safe to say that you'll probably start slipping if you don't have Ultron, because soon he'll become a bit of a commodity. So if you want to stay at the top, which I gotta admit, from other people that have played this game who, have spent no money or little money, whatever, but just are at the top of their arena shard and just profit off of the cores, they get very far in this game. So I think it's fair to want to do that. I would try to optimize with what you have. I know that there is, I can't recall what the exact one was offhand, but there was a kind of Brotherhood Minerva. You definitely need to get Minerva up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But there was a kind of Brotherhood Minerva approach. I just don't remember what the lineup
Are you talking about the one
was
with Fury?
Yeah, it was Fury, Juggernaut, and Pyro, and then
Minerva.
I feel like, was it Pyro or was it someone else? No, I think it was Pyro.
Because I'm actually using that team right now for Arena.
Oh, really?
It is crazy how good it is. I mean, even at only like 170k, I mean, I've broken back into the top 200.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that it's fair to want to do that. You just have to kind of look for a comp that deals with what you have, and especially for you, since he said he had Brotherhood.
Defenders. So Defenders and Shields.
That's
So
right,
Defenders are at
Defenders.
230k and Shields at 165k.
So yeah, I mean, at least you got. I mean, Fury himself is really good in lots of different comp versions for Fear the Darkness. So I mean, you already got a good situation going right there. Same thing with Shield Security. So yeah, I mean, I think that you're. What was the ultimate question that he had?
Should he focus on getting into Ultron now, or should he? Should he wait?
If you really want to stick out to the top, it sounds like you're at a relatively, not a super new arena shard, but you're at a decently new arena shard. You want to stay at the top. I would say, yeah, probably try to go ahead and do that just to min max as much as you can. So yeah, what about you?
I'm really kind of torn on this because while I think that getting Ultron obviously is absolutely fantastic and something that everybody needs to be working on, I don't know if at 6 months, it really depends on what your alliance needs.
Mm-hmm.
If your alliance needs you to do X, Y, or Z,
right.
Are you holding your alliance back by focusing on just that gear? Are you not contributing as much to your alliance? Now, if you're in a more casual alliance, you can go for it. But if you're in a more competitive alliance, that may not be as good depending on what other team comps you've got.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of situational. I do think that
it's
Ultron,
definitely situational.
I don't know if the defenders, even with Minerva, are really going to work.
Yeah, I don't think defenders making it through there.
I've heard some defenders are amazing in there. Like Luke is great, JJ is great.
Energy givers, JJ would be for sure, because energy givers are definitely good. You need to basically have like a loop of heal, buff, debuff, and then revive if you need to. So anyone to kind of fill those roles to get that loop going is what you're really going to need, which is what a lot of comps kind of go for. But
so you could out of those two teams and with the characters he's mentioned, you could probably do it with Fury, JJ, Luke, Minerva, and Daredevil.
I don't know if Daredevil would fare well enough.
Boy, he's got really good damage. I don't know how many villains are in there though, because he's double tapping on basic against villains and at T13, depending on red stars too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the problem is that his Luke's taunt doesn't come around often enough, and it's going to be hard to keep them off of Daredevil.
Well, but see, so that's kind of the beauty of that comp with JJ in there, because her energy is only going to go to Daredevil and Luke. So
Yeah, but
that
even
taunt's
then,
going to be coming around more frequently. Although he is
it
obviously
will.
slower, but
It will, but yeah, you're right. He's slower, but the problem is that still, even to get her, energy back up to get that energy going again, it's still going to be a little bit. That definitely expedites their process of getting this taunt back up. But if anyone that's been in Fear the Darkness knows, stuff goes by real quick. So
right.
it's going to be really tough in my mind, knowing what I've known and playing through it. It's going to be really tough to be able to pull that off, I think,
Yeah.
at least in the theory that I'm building up in my mind. So
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're in Fear the Darkness now.
yes, I mean,
Okay.
I'm not very far, but I'm
Right.
in
So
it.
you're getting advice from somebody who has at least started Fear the Darkness and somebody who has not started Fear the Darkness. So take
Right.
that for what it's worth. I don't know if you want to listen to me. The next question is kind of me specific. Sorry, but feel free to answer this one as well.
Sure.
If you think that this is would happen, are there any characters that Dorian won't get on misguided principles like Hebrew with Vision? I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, I don't think that there is. For
So
you.
I'm going to have to say no to that one. So character spotlight. This week we're going to talk about Rescue. So Virginia Potts, known as Pepper, because of her freckles and red hair, was working for Stark Industries when she noticed an accounting error. Racing to tell Tony Stark she saved the company a lot of money, and Tony promoted her to be his assistant. Pepper was critically injured at one point at an office function in Taipei, most notably with a piece of shrapnel near her heart. Randcorp Bionics, based on Stark pacemaker chestplate design, was surgically implanted. Later, when Norman Osborn began to have his Hammer agents storm every Stark Industries building in the world to prevent Tony from receiving assistance, Pepper escaped after finding a suit of armor built specifically for her. Pepper's suit contains an AI version of Jarvis, Tony's butler, to assist her and answer her questions. The armor was ideally suited to her biology and cybernetic enhancements. Her first appearance was Tales of Suspense number 45, September 1963, as Pepper, and in Invincible Iron Man Volume 2, number 10, April 2009, as Rescue. Surprisingly enough, the AI version of Jarvis, as I was reading a little bit further, winds up becoming infatuated with her and basically traps her in the armor and kidnaps her at one point.
Wow.
So her kit is Sonic Repulsor. Attack the primary target for 200% damage. Chain to an adjacent target for 100% damage. Always apply slow to each target. Tech Shield applies a barrier to all allies for 350 health plus 10% of this character's max health. Apply regeneration to all allies. And in war, apply 2 regeneration to all allies instead. Her ultimate is Firewall. Clears all negative effects from all allies. Apply offense up to self and power armor allies for 2 turns. In war, apply immunity to self and all allies for 2 turns. And then the Stark upgrade. In war, on spawn, apply barrier to power armor allies for 2,000 plus 10% of this character's max health. When an ally drops below 50% health, apply barrier to them for 2,000 plus 5% of this character's max health. Gain 15% max health, and power armor allies gain plus 15% max health. And all those abilities obviously are maxed out T4. So, Hebrew, after hearing her kit a little bit more, does that change your opinion any from the poll on what you felt about her kit?
No, just because I already knew her kit.
And it's funny. I mean, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but when we first were talking about her kit, you're like, "My God, it's amazing."
Well, you know why.
The AOE cleanse.
But it looked like the AOE cleanse was on.
Oh, that's right,
So
because there was a typo on the blog, and it looked like that was all one ability.
Right. Her special looked like it was like everything that her special has, and her ultimate looked like it was all in just her special.
That's right.
And so I was
forgot
like,
about that.
I was like, yeah, that does look amazing. Like, what's wrong with you?
And I think because I knew that that's not what the kit was in game, I never really paid attention. It wasn't until you pointed out that that the firewall, and I actually went back to Fox and was like, "Hey, this is wrong." And they were like, "What is?" I'm like, "The blog post." They're like, "Oops."
Yeah, it's because of me that
and that's because of Hebrew. So you guys can thank Hebrew for the kit being updated on the blog post.
That's right.
So
I'll just go ahead and say, like, for me, I feel like she's just really underwhelming. Everything she was meant to be like, really good because of this shield mechanic. And especially as the character that was being introduced with the shield mechanic, I was really disappointed because they did not make good use of it. If they would have changed the scaling on the shield, I think that she would definitely be in a much better place. But having the the 3,500 or so for the barrier, that's low.
That is really low
to start off with, and then 10% with the max health. Like with her, she has 100,000 health or so, I believe.
Right.
And you're just under, so that's just not that much. Like
13,500. I mean, that's one support character hit.
Exactly. So and don't forget, like, lots of support characters, even but all characters have multipliers to their damage. Like flat damage is almost that high.
Right.
So yeah, for me, like, that just really didn't provide enough to make it really useful. And her secondary ability, her special, has a really high energy cost. Granted, it does it comes preloaded, so that's good. Her cleanse is great, but it has a fairly high energy cost as well. I look at JJ and I'm like, JJ's got this beat.
Right. JJ is the gold standard for AoE cleanse.
Exactly, and that's just on her special. So yeah,
it's only it's only a 3 energy special.
Exactly. And so, there isn't quite as much put into that same ability, but I would rather have a spammable AoE cleanse than have a higher costing AoE cleanse that has just a few more things added on.
And I'm kind of upset with her kit because I would have hoped for a team up here. Here's another team up of current characters in the game that I would have loved to have seen a team up with her and almost any other power armor, because
especially
Tony, because it's amazing. So
yeah. So I mean, I think that with the with the extra bonuses that she gets with the power armor, like giving the I think it was offense up for 2 turns, right? Somewhere.
Yeah, offense and power. It's her ultimate. There was a typo in the ability. I'm not sure if it's been fixed yet or not. It's supposed to have been fixed this week, I believe. There's a typo in there that says, because it starts at, it costs 7 energy, and one of the upgrades is that it now costs 7 energy. And and so it should read it will cost 6 energy. Right. And then another one later on says it will cost 6 energy, and that should read 5 energy. So I don't know if originally it was supposed to be 8, or somebody just mistyped those 2 upgrades. But I mean, even then, all those ability mats just to remove 1 energy
on something that, I mean, like, the big thing here once again was if that barrier was a lot better, right? If the scaling out was much better, either on the base or on the percent of her max health, then that would be actually a good ability, and would be potentially worth it depending on what they put that that actual percentage at. But right now, that much energy, even with the T6 upgrade, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of turns wasted for something that gives me, basically, on each person, it's like a little bit better than a deflect. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then I get a 1 thing of regeneration on them, and in war I do get 2, but still, for that energy cost, I'm looking at Minerva and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, Minerva was the last support character we got, and Minerva's a god compared to her.
Right. So I mean, I do like the immunity, but again, like you said, it's only on the ult.
Exactly.
And her energy cost is so high.
Exactly. And so, and it's very specific because you have to be in war to get a lot of stuff, or with power armor people to get a lot of stuff. So that's polarizing to me as well. So overall, yeah, it's just she's an underwhelming champion, and it's a shame, because a champion that introduces a new mechanic, I feel like, should always be great, because of that mechanic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And so they just did not highlight that here for me. So she's good on a power armor team, or I should say decent on a power armor team, and good, I would say, on a power armor team in war. So
yeah. And I think that's really it. Her strategies are war and power armor allies. You're not really going to use her much outside of that.
yeah, exactly. I was just unimpressed with this character.
Yeah.
And she looks exactly like someone said it. I read this somewhere, but maybe it was you even.
Like a stick figure almost?
No, she looks like one of Ultron's minions.
Oh, yeah. I think that was me because when we got the character models from Fox Next, her helmet, I was like, man, that's Ultron.
Exactly. Yeah, her face is like pushed in such a weird way. You know, in the movies, it was. We're past the spoiler.
Yeah,
she's obviously in the movies. I'm sure you know that now. But she's blue, and it looks like Tony Stark. Here, it's different. It's purple, which I don't even think purple was ever her color, even in the comics.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just a kind of strangest thing. So yeah, but I will say also though, this is just a kind of general thing that I've realized. If you go back and look at a lot of the older characters, whenever it comes to assist and counter, their assist and counter are not very good in the sense that they don't apply a lot of the like if their basic has any utility. Now it usually always applies that like 100%.
Right.
But before I've realized they never really did that, or it was like a lower percent chance of it happening. So it's interesting that they're starting to come out with all assists and counters and stuff like that are like 100% chance to do this or that.
Yeah, I want to see that happen to Thanos. I want that counter I want that counter to just keep reapplying itself.
Makes me think of Storm.
Yeah. So Heber, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the week.
Yeah.
But before we head out, why don't you let everybody know who you're farming, buddy?
Who am I farming? I am trying to bring up Minerva as fast as possible. I'm really close now. I'm in T12 for her, trying to get everything. That special gear is annoying to get. But other than that, I'm also
PSA. That is not farming Minerva. That is farming gear for Minerva.
Yes, I should. Yeah, I had to specify that earlier. That was just poor wording on my part. But yeah, so I'm doing that, and then also I'm working on my Wakanda and a little bit on my Spider-Verse too. So yeah.
So I'm working on my T13 gear as well. I'm hoping to get Rocket to T13 very soon, and I'm just continuing to work on the others. So I'm going for the Groot, Rocket, Shield, Minerva team.
Right.
A Groot, Rocket, Fury, Minerva. I can't remember who the fifth one was, but that's gonna probably be the team that I go in with. So I've almost got Rocket, which is great. Fury's coming along, and so is Minerva. She's up to 10 or 11 now.
Yeah,
there's so many ABCs.
I think the best team right now for Fear of the Darkness, at least that I've heard of, has been Minerva, Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, and Fury.
There it is. It's Star-Lord. He's So
yeah.
That's what I've been working on. Obviously, working on Stitcher this week to get Star-Lord at 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the grind, and then every day I'm still farming Shield and hitting Kree up because I've still got 2 Kree to get to 7 star.
I even have 2 Kree to still get to 7 stars, so I feel you.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Heber, before we head out for the night, was there anything that you wanted to say?
Nope. That's going to do it.
All right. Well, we do want to thank you for listening to the Ravager Report. If you'd like to become of our active and interactive community, you can do so at our Discord server at discord.me/Ravager Report. Please remember that is a URL, not a Discord invite. If you'd like to send us an email, you can email us at theravagerreport@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at RavagerRepo. If you like what you hear and would like to help support our show, you can join our patrons at patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have subscription levels ranging from $2 all the way up to $20. We do want to send a great big shout out and thank you to all of our patrons and let you know how much we appreciate your support. And until next time, keep fighting, true believers.